a shadow on the bayou, a whisper in the air, a spellbound sway, a devil may care. The cards are laid and the candles dance.
Well, okay. And what they did was sit back and watch the gift horse that they'd bought run through its paces, and then after about 2 or 3 years, fired half the people, and then did it again, and then did it again, and then did it again to bring their overhead down, 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 because they keep saying it's not making enough money. It's not. So the scuttlebutt now is they may let it do that completely, as in put it out for third parties to do like everything. And
When we
we
talk
will not.
about
How is that making any sense when, from what I've looked at when I see some info about Hasbro, Wizards and D&D is the only profitable sector they've got. Everything else is losing money hand over fist.
Yeah, but you got to remember that the internal vice presidents who are in charge of those other money losing things are there to badmouth.
D&D.
Yeah, because they want their little fiefdom to flourish, and so they can blame things on D&D. And we as observers sitting outside are going, look, buddy, this is what is obvious, do this. But they don't have to play those games. And here's the thing, that could just be the unsubstantiated rumor of the moment, but I did hear that from 2 or 3 people inside the building, that they were afraid that that was going to be the next thing. And you see, Chris and Jeremy have left. They have not been replaced. So we have Wes Schneider and we have James Wyatt, and
White's still there?
I'm sorry?
I didn't realize
James
Wes
White
was
is still
there.
there?
I thought he was with Peso.
No, he jumped back. And
Oh, okay.
the other thing we have is Amanda Hammond is new, and who's the guy who Bill Benham. Bill Benham is still around, and he was doing RPGA and off to the side.
Okay.
But he's now apparently sort of last man standing as game designer who's been around for a while. But you see what I mean? They have hollowed out the team so much that it lends credence to these rumors that they're going to third-party license everything.
Well, then maybe this should be a. I'm sorry. Maybe this should be a plotting session for, with Ed at the head. We can be a third tier production company to produce Realm stuff for them.
Yeah, I think so.
If it's all going third party.
I imagine it's required to be 5th edition and all that stuff too.
Of course. Now is like full steam ahead on doing this already. And he's like talking to me on side channels. Can we do this? And he's thinking about
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm just saying there are already people, and there are tons of people at DM's Guild.
But how's it any different than DM's Guild, right? Like in terms of
it can't be
being
different.
more viable,
It can't be, and that for us, we still have to share 50% of the revenue. There's no getting out of it.
Yeah, all $10, right? So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There is no other. I mean, you do this as a labor of love. They have made sure you're not doing it for profitability. There's no way.
It's, I was just looking up, Hasbro Lost, which owns Wizards, of course, apparently produced Honor Among Thieves, and they apparently lost about $25 million on the movie, so. That's very,
it's still good.
Well, that's Hollywood accounting is the most interesting accounting outside of the Shadow Thieves, I think.
Yeah, they have actually made tons of money on that movie, and it's still one of the top grossing streaming service movies right now. But what it didn't do was what an internal company vice president predicted it would do, and so therefore it's a flop.
Yeah.
But it's not a flop.
I mean,
that's for
because
sure.
remember, Hollywood Accounting also says that the Lord of the Rings movies still have not made a profit.
Yeah, which is bullshit. Which is utter bullshit. Well, Titanic has still not made a profit on
Yeah.
paper.
Yeah,
Titanic.
it has,
And
but
I
we know
think
it has.
I think the difference, and again, really is, again, we're talking about Hollywood studios making
yeah,
the dollars, right? And not
right,
necessarily transferring over to Hasbro and transferring into Wizards,
Yeah.
right? So
right.
Uh, hmm.
That's
Yeah.
cool. Well,
So,
so are they just going to say, oh, we're going to give this over to some publishing companies that know how to publish like Tor or something like that, and they can hire out and get people to
Yep.
farm out
That's
their realms?
exactly what they'll do. Yeah.
I'd say it doesn't make any.
so,
It
so
just
suddenly
doesn't make any sense.
we could see three different publishers publishing three different lines of Forgotten Realms books and stepping on each other's toes.
No, because the one thing they always do, because they're idiots, is sign exclusive licenses. That's why you still can't
Okay.
put fiction out on the DM's Guild. It's not that they didn't want fiction. They didn't want to do their own fiction because they don't agree with the returnable model. But they had
Mhm.
signed an agreement with Random House, Penguin Random House,
Yeah.
which they broke 2 years later, like WotC broke, that gave them the exclusive license to distribute any D&D related fiction in
Bob.
English worldwide, which meant they couldn't allow kids in their basements or us to write our own Realms fiction and put it up at the DM's Guild because it would be breaking that license.
makes sense.
Unless you hide it in sidebars in a
Yes,
ape
that's
supplement.
okay. That's okay. If you
It's,
and in fact, what I did with my Mert short story is I published the Mert short story, put it up, and then I put up character write-ups, spell write-ups, and magic item write-ups for the things in the story. And I got Chris Lindsay, who of course is no longer at WotC, apologetically emailing me right away saying, Ed, I have to take this down.
Under the voodoo moon, we're caught in a trance. Oh, the voodoo lady's melody sly, she'll read your fate with knowing eye. The rhythm's thick, the night feels soon.
Like